let's see here. I lost Terry. There he is. Okay, so we've got missing Maggie. All right, sounds good. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and get started, but let's just make sure everybody's audio and video is working. Maggie, you good?
Yes, good now. I don't know what happened.
All right, perfect. Trustee Battenfeld.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Trustee Martinez. All right, perfect. Trustee Lindley.
Can you hear me, Jordan?
I can hear you.
Okay.
All right, and I don't think we're not expecting Trustee Kundi today. And Dr. Chong, you good?
Yep.
All right, perfect. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Hold on one second. So basically just going over the kind of ground rules. Again, we're doing the Zoom as a matter of the continued COVID crisis, pandemic, and nobody's going to be meeting on campus. The panelists will be the board members, Dr. Chong and support. And if we're going to be using the raise the hand function for me to call on each trustee. If we need somebody from, if Dr. Chong needs support answering any questions that the trustees might have, he might call in some of his VPs or staff, at which time they'll be promoted to a panelist, very similar to walking to the lectern and answering any questions. For our reports, the same thing. So media will promote you to the panelists in the order of the reports and then give you a report. Public comments, we will have a section for public comments. Use the raise the hand function if you'd like to make any public comments on non-agendized items or agendized items. I'll also give an opportunity for any of the agenda items to speak at the beginning of that item if you wish as we move through it. All of the votes will be taken via roll call vote, and I don't think I'm missing anything. Zara can remind me if I am, but I think we're good. Perfect. Okay, so we will go ahead and start off with announcement of reportable action taken in closed session, which there was none, and then approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Okay, motion by Trustee Lindley, second by Trustee Battenfeld. Roll call vote.
Trustee Battenfeld?
Aye.
Trustee Fishman?
Aye.
Trustee Lindley?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Burns?
Aye. All right, public comments. If there's anybody who would like to make a public comment, now would be the time to do so. I think it's *9 if you're calling in. Otherwise, seeing none, and I don't think, Zara, did we have any written public comments?
We don't have any written comments, President Burns.
Okay, perfect. All right, we will move on to Employee of the Month for December 2020. I am going to turn it over to Vida.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Good afternoon, President Burns, Board of Trustees, Dr. Chung, and friends of the college community. I'm Vida Smith from Admissions and Records, and it's my pleasure to present December's Employee of the Month to Debbie Reed-Muller. Debbie is the coordinator of student academic records and admissions and records, and even in her short time on campus, most of you may already know her, as she enjoys going to campus functions and loves to meet and mingle with people. She's our office mom. We go to her when we need to borrow stamps and can always find her passing around stationery cards for us to sign. Debbie is a businesswoman serving students in student services. That means she provides excellent customer services and just knows how to get to the point. Debbie began her career at the college in 2011, working for Dean Victor Cummings, then transitioned over to admissions and records in 2014. Currently in admissions and records, she oversees all facets of grades, rosters, outgoing transcripts, petitions, verifications, and subpoenas. In addition, she works closely with faculty regarding grades, grade changes, and incompletes, making sure every student record is up to date. Since working from home, Debbie and her team have graciously assisted students with over 12,000 petitions related to COVID and natural disasters. Never once did Debbie or her team complain. In fact, they are always looking for ways to better serve students and improve processes that are more efficient for the office, thus providing quick turnaround time for students. Debbie enjoys working with people. Her favorite part of her job is helping students get their academic records cleaned up, getting them off of probation and into the classes they need to get a degree, certificate, or transfer. She's also very active with Classified Senate and SEIU, always looking out for her colleagues and mentoring new employees on campus. I don't know how I got so lucky to have wonderful employees like Debbie. With that, I would like to present Debbie her Employee of the Month certificate, along with 2 tickets for any SRT production in the coming season and a gift certificate for the Culinary Cafe. Also, a gift card to Oliver's Market, as Debbie does not like to cook, but enjoys yummy food, along with a gift card to Hallmark to stock up on her cards and party supplies for the office. We are truly blessed to have Debbie working for the district, and thank you for the opportunity to acknowledge Debbie's great work. And now over to Debbie for her comments.
Good afternoon, Dr. Chong, President Burns, Board of Trustees, and campus community. I want to thank SRJC for honoring me with the Employee of the Month award. I have worked at SRJC for 8.5 years and an additional 9 months as an STNC. And like Vida said, I started on the academic affairs side working for Dean Victor Cummings. I've been over in A&R for 5.5 years, and I really enjoy working with students. I grew up in Sonoma, and I am a graduate of SRJC in Sonoma State. I worked in the mortgage industry, payroll, electronics, construction, and a few other industries before finding my home at SRJC. I am so happy to be an employee of the JC and feel blessed that we have all been able to continue working during this trying year. I have a son who's married and has a 14-month-old daughter today, my little Riley. She's my first grandchild, and I just love her to pieces. They live here in Santa Rosa, and I'm able to see them weekly and enjoy their company. I have a daughter who lives in Sacramento, and I'm lucky to get to see her 2 to 3 times a month. And family is just everything to me, and this holiday season is my favorite time of year. I love my Santa Rosa JC and my A&R family. I love my coworkers, and I love our union. I feel privileged to work here and to help students navigate their futures, and I am especially honored to be named the December Employee of the Month. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you, Debbie, and thank you, Vida, for introducing Debbie. All right, congratulations again, and now we'll move on to the next item on our agenda, which is our report. Updates. First up we have is Trustee Lindley with BFC.
Thank you. The Board Facilities Committee met on December 1st. Update was provided on solicitations in progress and purchasing items submitted for Board of Trustees approval today, December 8th. Update on IT and media projects, FAC ops, and major capital projects were provided. Highlights include IT team is expanding remote lab environment using existing equipment. Petaluma Science Edition project is almost complete. Furniture design and interior finishes is in progress. at Petaluma Student Life Project. Recording studio in Petaluma is complete. Central plant construction has started with demolition and site clearing last week. Pedroncelli roof will be completed by December 30th. Pioneer roof is progressing and is on schedule to be completed by year end. Emeritus Circle improvements construction will start this month and work should be completed by the end of February 2021. Fiber ring project is expected to be completed by year end. Towser Gym renovation design meetings are scheduled for this month. TLCD Architecture will present the design to BFC in January. And lastly, North Bay Business Journal has selected Jeff Cundy Hall as one of North Bay's top projects for 2020. That concludes my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Terry. Next up, we have Dr. Chong, President's report.
Thank you, President Burns, and happy holidays to everybody. Yesterday, I participated in the Redwood Empire food giveaway with our Student Support Services staff. I want to thank Javier, Robert Ethington, Hillary, Regina, Rafael Vasquez, and Pedro Avila. We gave away gift cards to Safeway, fresh fruit and vegetables, and even a roll of toilet paper. And that's a commodity these days. And I just was very touched by the students who thanked us profusely for caring about them and trying to help them out. And I thanked them in return and reminded them to make sure they register for the spring. Also, I attended my first meeting as a board member for the American Association of Community Colleges, AACC, and I'll be serving out a term of somebody who vacated it. And it's 32 college presidents around the country representing community colleges, and it's a real joy to be on it. Unfortunately, the somber news was that community colleges throughout the country are experiencing double-digit declines in enrollment as a result of COVID-19. And we are advocating for community colleges and higher education and K-12 to be put in the relief package that's going to be looked at in the next couple of weeks. And I believe from what I heard yesterday from a contact in Washington, D.C., is that community colleges will be part of the relief package. How much is still to be negotiated. I also want to give you an update about a meeting that we had with the Black Student Union, BSU, with our police department and with our police academy officials. It was a difficult but necessary conversation. And I think it was very honest and it was very emotional. And I really want to appreciate Chief Brownlee and Lanny Brown from the Academy and Josh Adams, the Dean, for really listening with open minds and open hearts. And we are going to be coming back with a written proposal to the Black Student Union about how SRJC can become the model college for relationships with students of color and BIPOC folks. So I'm very, very excited about that. I made a presentation to the Rotary in Sebastopol, and I think it was very well received. They continue to support the JC with scholarships, and we're really appreciative of our relationship and partnership with the Rotary in Sebastopol. Our student aid commission, I served on a panel on a college affordability, and that was attended by over 1,200 attendees, and I think it was well received, and we continue to push for affordable college, greater financial aid for our students as a major access point. I also want to thank the Theater Arts Department for including me in It's a Wonderful Life. It was a blast to be part of it. I think I'm going to keep my day job, but the students did a fabulous job. It really gave me an appreciation for how hard the students and the faculty and the crew work to put on a production, especially in a COVID environment. And then finally, I just want to give thanks to our outgoing President Jordan Burns. I think Jordan presided over the college during some of the most difficult times, fires, COVID, and a lot of controversy. but I think it was a real pleasure to work with him, to watch him lead, to watch him grow, and to think that he used to be a student trustee and now he's the president of the board. That's quite an accomplishment. So maybe Jocelyn, in a few years, you'll be sitting in Jordan's seat. So watch out. That concludes my report. I just want to wish everybody a safe and happy holidays, and we'll see you in 2021 with 2020 in the rearview mirror. Thank God.
Thank you, Dr. Chong. I think Jocelyn probably can aim a lot higher than this. So with that, I'll turn it over to Serafin Fernandez for our Measure H update.
Thank you. Good afternoon, President Burns, members of the board, Dr. Chong, and esteemed SRJC colleagues. At Capital Projects, we continue to take advantage of the fact that our campuses are not occupied and pushing our projects right along. At Petaluma, we are wrapping up the Science Edition project with some touch-up landscape work and then some final testing inside the building. That project will be done by the end of this month. The Student Life project continues to move along and is shaping up just as beautiful as the renderings that you've seen in the past. Again, this project should also be complete by, if not the end of this month, mid-January. I'm also proud to announce that this project was also selected as one of the North Bay's top projects of 2020 by the North Bay Business Journal. So congratulations to the entire project team, including our project manager, Sumita Mukherjee. At Schoen Farm, we continue to make improvements to the barn. Several upgrades have already been completed. We have the roof still that needs to be done, as well as some minor items. And then we will have a completely renovated barn. The produce processing project has kicked off. That's the picture you see on the screen. So we're looking for that project to be complete in about 4 months. Lark Beck Temps relocation, this would be the new classrooms at Schoen Farm. We bid end of last week, so we should be bringing that project to you for approval of that contract at the next board meeting. At Santa Rosa campus, as you can see on the screen, Shu Hall is no longer there. The Linley Center for STEM Education is making great progress. The building has been torn down and they've been in the process of clearing up the debris. That'll take a couple of weeks. But by January, we should be seeing the site work begin. There's some soil remediation work that we need to do to make sure that the new foundations are supported well. So that'll take a couple of months, and then we should be seeing steel go up somewhere just before the summer. The roofing projects at Petrocelli and Pioneer are making great progress. They're wrapping up and they should be done by the end of this month. Center Plant project has started. The temporary fencing is already up, and then some demolition work has already taken place as well. The fiber ring project, network and infrastructure, is moving along really well. All of the new fibers should be installed by the end of the year. So that the new data center can make its transition during winter break. At Busman Hall, we completed phase 1. That's where HR now resides. And phase 2 is the mechatronics storage space that's being renovated, as well as one of our ADA restrooms. That portion of the project should be substantially complete by the end of this month. And then we started with phase 3, which is the actual IT department area that will get a facelift. So we started meeting with the architect and the members of the IT department to develop what exactly the scope of work will be. So that's in progress now. Doyle Library, first floor media services area is actually complete. There's some minor testing that is taking place with the HVAC and fire alarms. We've ordered the new furniture that should be coming in a few weeks, but this project is pretty much wrapped up and we should be bringing a notice of completion to for approval in the next, if not in January, in February. The campus-wide security project is well underway. We had a meeting with DSA actually yesterday to look at some of the some of the DSA items at the Santa Rosa campus. So the design will start to move forward on that. But at the Petaluma and Windsor campuses, PSTC, we should be starting construction on that scope of work in January. The Towser Gymnasium renovation, this is one of our state-funded projects, as well as Measure H funded. Programming and scope of work definition is almost complete. The first schematic design will be presented to the BFC in January for their approval. That's our first submittal to the Chancellor's office in January. And then next month, we will bring the CEQA notice of exemption for your approval to keep the project moving. Garcia Hall renovation, we've also are in the process of restarting this renovation. Garcia Hall will be the new home to communication studies. Just a little bit of background, if you may recall, we actually started redesigning this building for the Career Development Center. We did have a complete design that was approved by DSA. Since then, as you know, there's been several changes to the college, to the district. And so with those changes, we did decide to actually maintain the Career Development Center at Bertolini. There will be a space at Bertolini that will be renovated for them. And so communication studies will move into Garcia. Because we have an approved DSA design, we are trying to make minor modifications to the design so that we can maintain that approval and be able to get that project out to bid fairly quickly. The fashion studies department that actually currently resides at Garcia will be relocated to the Petaluma campus. So we'll also be renovating some space for them there. We're all excited about these moves. In today's agenda items, you do see a couple of amendments to the original contract for the architect SFA, just to make the modifications between what DSA approved, and then we had considered some modifications to Fashion Lab, and now to Communication Studies. So one of the consent items on your agenda is the approval of those amendments. And then as Trustee Lindley reported, Jeff Cundy Hall also was selected as one of the North Bay's top projects of 2020 by the North Bay Business Journal. So we are on a streak. Last year, our Burbank project was selected as one of the top projects of that year. And we hope to continue to keep our projects top in Sonoma County. One major announcement, as we have been reporting in the last year, the KV replacement project is a major step in that project will take place during winter break. From January 4th to January 8th, we will be making the existing switchgear replacement. So what that will entail is a complete shutdown of the power at the Santa Rosa campus. We will have several buildings that will actually be shut down, not all, but some. And we have been working very close with the Facilities and Operations Department. So huge kudos to them for coordinating this with us to make sure that generators are in place so that essential businesses during that week will continue. And then, as I mentioned, we have a few items for your approval today. A couple of amendments for Garcia Hall in one of your action items. We have one contract for approval at the Pioneer Hall, the ICC. And then we have a couple of we have one change order for Student Life project, as well as an amendment to that design architect. And then a couple of notices of completion for projects that have been completed. One at PSDC, Building 500, the HVAC and roofing project. And then at Santa Rosa, the Emeritus Hall security project. This concludes my report, unless you have any questions.
Any questions from anybody? All right, thank you, Seraphin. And now we will move on to our student trustee, Jocelyn Toscano.
Okay, hello everyone. So my report is a little short, but basically I have met with Lisa Beach, the director of online education, and we had a meeting last week, talked about what we can improve with on the student side of things and also on the faculty and staff side of things for better online education. And she's inviting me to the district online committee tomorrow to talk about what I've been hearing about students and online learning, and what we obviously the improvements that we talked about with her personally, to talk about it during the meeting tomorrow. I was at the food distribution for a second, it left my head. I was at the food distribution yesterday giving out masks that Rafael Vasquez was able to get, has been slowly giving them out every week, but because of the food distribution, you know, he thought it was a good idea to distribute those masks to students and their families as well. So I was helping package those as the drive-thru was going by, and it was really great seeing everyone there, everyone for the right before the holidays, everyone coming together and distributing the food, and also for the flu shot clinic. And then, yeah, I'm still working on getting more feedback from generally most of the students. I'm working on a survey besides the meeting with Lisa Beach for online education. Those are basically, that's my report. I'll have more next meeting after I have more meetings with her and also for the committee tomorrow.
All right, thank you. Any other board members? We've got just a quick update on the RJC, the Racial Justice Committee that the board formed. We will be meeting, myself, Trustee Martinez, and Trustee Battenfeld tomorrow to discuss the applicants. We got a nice pool of applicants, and then we should hopefully have an update fairly soon with the members, and then hope to have a first meeting sometime in January. So I know that it's been a slow-moving process, but important nonetheless. And hopefully this next year in 2021 will be a lot better for many reasons than 2020. But that's the update there. Any other board members? Any comments, questions, updates? And then lastly, I would just like to thank Dr. Chong for the kind words. This is my last regularly scheduled meeting. I will be at the special meeting in a week where we will be swearing in Trustee Martinez and new Trustee Benuelos, as well as I think what Trustee Lindley, you get sworn in also. It wasn't that hard for you. So I'll be chairing that one, but then that'll be I'll be handing over the reins to our incoming president, Trustee Battenfeld. And so, yeah, thank you everybody for the support over the past 2 years. It's definitely, as former presidents of the board know, it's a job that is more than you expect, and it's time consuming, but nonetheless it's rewarding, and it's also a learning experience, and you get to learn a lot about the JC, a lot about the ins and outs, and you get to talk to Frank a lot. I don't know if that's a plus or a negative, but but yeah. So all right. So with that, we'll go ahead and move on to our reports. First up, we have no academic senate report today, and so we will move over to Kathy Mathis, who's filling in for our classified. It's yours, Kathy.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, Board President Burns, Board of Trustees, Dr. Chong, and fellow colleagues. Classified Senate President Debbie Weatherly asked me to step in for today. She's swamped with accounting department deadlines, and I was more than happy to step in and give a report. First on the report is the Giving Tree update. Despite a pandemic, despite students and staff not on campus, despite no tree and hearts, we were able to successfully make the Giving Tree an event to be proud of. With the help of wonderful suggestions from those who know how to problem solve, with the help of the foundation for creating a link, we were able to raise over $14,000 to gift over 330 children of students and most in need students a gift card for the holidays. We distributed the cards socially distanced and mailed the remaining cards by November 30th. So many people to thank for their donations, and thank you to those who able to actually choose to annually donate. That was one of the things on the link was, and so there's quite a few people that are annually going to donate to the Giving Tree. So thank you to that. And many people to thank for their volunteer time. We've also come to the conclusion that how we did this Giving Tree this year was so much easier logistically. And so we have decided to do it this way from now on. It was the online submission was super easy. Greeting cards purchased and for the distribution. And not only that, but it's more equitable to our students. If you have like, for instance, if you have a family of 4 children in your family, Susie got a bike, but Johnny got a sweatshirt that doesn't fit, you know, because 4 different people chose 4 different hearts. So this way, the parent will have equitable amount of gift cards to be able to use and to their choice of how they want to use it. But the only thing is doing it this way is kind of a little bit impersonal. So someone suggested that when we are all together in 2021, there's no question about that, we'll all be back together, that we do this way also, but like the first kickoff day for distribution, we actually have a party like in SAC. Bring the kids over from the child care center, have some games, have some refreshments, and then the parents can come and pick up their gift cards. And we just make it a celebration, invite the college campus to come and join us and celebrate with us, so that it's not so impersonal. The trees, I think, we'll still put up. We're going to decorate them with ornaments that will have the link on them that you go and donate to and stuff. And then also create trees that are more on the international, it takes a village feel. So there's some changes, and you know, one of the things the pandemic has brought a lot of changes about, and this I think is a good one. And so anyway, I just want to again thank everybody who donated and made this such a success. So on to the next. Classified Senate is honored to participate in the accreditation and self-study report and the PERT participation, and look forward to helping complete this report. The other areas Classified Senate is concentrating on is finding ways to reach out and connecting with the classified professionals that we have not seen in months and won't be seeing for months now. So we're looking at ways to still bring about a human touch. We've got a greeting card designed by Jesse Hellenbrand and graphics that we're sending out for the first of the year, because we are saying that 2021, goodbye to 2020, and 2021 is going to be a much, much better year. So I end with wishing everybody a happy holidays and a much, like I said, a much, much better new year in 2021. And that concludes my report.
Perfect. Thank you, Kathy. And let's go ahead and move over to our Student Government President De La Shea, Carmen Benson.
Thank you, President Burns, Dr. Chong, the rest of the Board of Trustee members, and the public. We had an interesting time in the past month. A lot of things, I guess, was going on. I wrapped up 3 hiring committees, as well as collaborated, of course, with my BSU for a phenomenon fundraising. I raised $115,000 prior to the event, and then another $4,770 during the event. And there's still offers coming in. Feel free to donate, get your friends to donate, family to donate. All of it's going to the Black Student Success Center, which is very much needed. I present it to the Academic Senate as well. At SGA, we had our own president, Dr. Chung, come and do a meet and greet. Thank you, that was fun. And our Zach is still giving us parliamentary procedures every week. Hector Delgado came in and gave us an update on Southwest, and for which hopefully during our retreat, we're gonna form an ad hoc committee to help those students there. Genevieve came and told us what the basic needs for the students are via giving food and food cards, whatnot to help the students. That was pretty good to hear about. Regina came in and gave us a budget. I will tell you that I knew that our SGA was behind on funds, and we have been very diligent of not spending any money and holding on and making sure that our budget stays stable, not just for us, but for the future SGA. Dr. Long came in, and we've been working with Dr. Long about filling the position for the Petaluma coordinator's position. And our student West Below came in and gave us a report on the Freedom of Clubs Act that he's working on. All of this is, of course, thankful to the wonderful team that I work with, Dr. Chung, Pedro, Robert, Hillary, Deborah, Genevieve, Regina, and of course, Sarah comes in and gives us advice, and none other than our SGA officers and assembly members and our great advice from our trustees. We have undergone some of the craziest times this year with the COVIDs and the fires, the elections, and of course, even the racism and whatnot that's going on in this world. We got through it by advocating for each other, by making sure that this campus is inclusive, by adding diversity and equity for all. And we made it through. And I can almost assure you that 2021 will be even better. So President Burns, Dr. Chung, Pedro, Board of Trustees, public, everyone's here. Happy holidays on behalf of the student body and SGA. Happy New Year's. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you, De La Shea. Now I will turn it over to Sean Martin for our AFA update.
Thank you, President Burns, trustees, President Chong, colleagues, and other members of the community. Well, to begin, AFA leaders would like to congratulate Caroline Banuelos on her election and welcome her to the Board of Trustees. Congratulations also to Mariana Martinez for her re-election to the board, and we thank you for your service to the college, and we look forward to a long and productive relationship with you both. We also wish to express our thanks to Jordan Burns for your service as president of the board. And like President Chong said, this has been a tough time to be president of the board. And also to Dorothy Battenfeld as she embarks on her term in that role. Again, we thank you both for all you do for the district. I think, as others have mentioned, we can all agree fall 2020 has tested our mettle. We've witnessed altogether too much suffering these last several months. We haven't always met the challenge as well as we would have wished. There's been much cause for disappointment and no shortage of disagreement. And you've all heard a bit of that from me in these reports. But today I'd like to set aside these differences and focus for a moment on some of the achievements we've managed to attain in spite of it all, and look forward to the good work ahead as we leave this troubled semester behind. The fact that we pulled together to continue serving the community is a testament to the commitment and sacrifice of all constituents, faculty, classified professionals, management and administrators, and of course students have all performed admirably. We have a lot to be proud of. We owe tremendous gratitude for the leadership and commitment of the Black Student Union and our colleagues in Black Leadership Association Collective for their bold demands and for challenging us to live up to our highest duties and aspirations to be a more just and equitable institution. At AFA, we believe equity work is the essence of union work. Thus, it is natural that AFA is committed to working with and supporting these groups, including our affiliates at North Bay Jobs with Justice and others dedicated to transforming ideals of justice into practice. AFA is looking forward to negotiations related to the formation of new programs in the Black and Ethnic Studies, along with numerous faculty support positions envisioned to serve equity goals at SRJC. We, in partnership with our colleagues on the district team, have forged an effective and efficient process for developing special assignments, as demonstrated by the recent MOUs establishing coordinator positions for the Queer Resource Center and the Ignite program. We look forward to similar agreements launching numerous other positions on a legal footing, all while addressing urgent student needs and protecting faculty rights. We also look forward to the development of a shared governance system that offers a voice to all members of the community while also respecting the legal purview of each constituent group. And we're eager to contribute to the development of an effective enrollment management plan. The stability and security that such a plan promises to provide for both students and faculty, especially adjunct faculty, is well worth the investment in time and resources that this project will likely demand. Finally, as work begins to prepare the ground for the new science building, we'd like again to commend this board for your forward-looking support for the project stabilization agreement to guide this development. We're gratified to have a board that recognizes and honors labor while putting our community's interest first. For decades to come, it will be a source of considerable pride to know that our facilities were built with respect for the dignity for the men and the women who work to make them possible. So on that note, I'm going to close this report, and I wish you all great peace during this holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. And yes, thank you very much for everything you do. And we'll move over to Sandy Segala with our SEIU rep.
Thank you, Jordan. Good afternoon, President Burns, Board of Trustees, Dr. Chong, colleagues, and community. Hope everyone continues to be safe, staying healthy, and with this pandemic, to remember to keep our distances, wear our masks, and wash, cleanse our hands as often as necessary as we continue living through these hard times. I also want to thank President Burns for your work as a Board of Trustee President and all of the work that you've done and the time that takes to do it. And congratulations to both Caroline Banuelos and Mariana Martinez as you take on the Board of Trustees role seat again to Mariana. Thank you and congratulations. Today, I just have a few to report on. SEIU, we continue to work with the district and the vendor Siegel for our classification review study for all of our classified professional unit. And we continue to be in the process for completion for sometime early next year, hopefully. With the pandemic, it's kind of caused a little dilemma as far as our time frames have applied to in the past, but we'll get there. And then our executive council will finish up with a second annual retreat planning meeting this week, Friday. We've changed the time, however, at 1:30 so folks could participate in the candidate forum for the Senior Director, Institutional Effectiveness, Research and Planning position, which then ends at 1:30 and then we can pick up. SEIU is bringing forward today, as you have on your agenda, our presentation of SEIU Local 1021's contract reopener to the district, as we will open on full contract for proposals for the 21-22 year to sunshine on today. Also, I will report out that SEIU brings forward the STNC unit, an agreement dated December 15, 2017, between Sonoma County Junior College District and SEIU Local 1021 to negotiate an addendum to the existing contract to apply to the newly created short-term, non-continuing STNC employees. SEIU Local 1021 is presenting its initial for the 21-22 year to the district to sunshine on as well today. And finally, as we come to the end of the fall semester, I want to thank everyone in the district for being understanding, kind, and patient during these hard times as we work remotely and learn to work remotely with the many hiccups while trying to not lose our Zoom internet, which I'm having problems today again, but thank you for all of your patience. And I also want everybody, the Board of Trustees, Dr. Chong, and the campus community, a very well-deserved break as we are close to the finish line this semester, and a happy holiday. Stay safe and be healthy. Thank you, and that ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you very much. And we will move over to Sarah Lagos for our management liaison.
Good afternoon, President Burns, members of the board, Dr. Chong, and college community. My name is Sarah Lagos, and I am the co-chair of the Management Liaison Group and the Director of Alumni Annual Fund and Corporate Relations for the SRJC Foundation. I love this season. 2 months of the year solely dedicated to gratitude, thankfulness, and giving, to reflecting on the last year and turning hopeful eyes towards the next. It would be easy to dismiss 2020 as an absolutely wretched year. We have sacrificed joy, comfort, celebration, and rituals to protect ourselves and our loved ones and our larger community from the coronavirus. We have experienced loss and grief. We've exhausted ourselves, stressed ourselves, and watched our world turn upside down every day, sometimes multiple times a day since March. But in all the misery that 2020 has wrought, I see so much brilliance that needs to be acknowledged, appreciated, and thanked. And there's no better time of the year to do it. So if there's one thing that I think our management team needs to hear, that our entire campus community needs to hear, it's this: good job. You may think I'm wearing rose-colored glasses in a minute. I'm not, I promise. It's been hard for each of us, personally and professionally. But in that struggle, it's been a privilege to witness humanity and creativity in action, as managers have supported our students, classified, faculty, and each other in ways that feel both responsible and personal. So in the spirit of the season, I ask you to do something for me right now, all of you, not just my fellow managers. If I know my campus colleagues, and I'm pretty certain I do, most of you are watching this meeting while working, answering emails, grading student work, or finishing a project. So stop. Put down your papers and open a new email. Pick 3 of your colleagues. Spread it across campus, faculty, managers, and classified. Write a short 3-sentence email expressing your gratitude to that individual for their work, their commitment to our mission, and the service they provide to our students to help them reach their dreams, even as they juggle their own hard things. Take a minute to see them, acknowledge them, and appreciate them. Because it's easy for 2020 to simply be about how dreadful and miserable and tough it was, and to miss out and forget all the ways we rose to challenges. We succeeded at new things. We gave our students opportunity and support. We made an impact. We helped each other, and we made it through another day. I'll share 3 with you now on behalf of the management team. Sumita Mukherjee manages capital projects on the Petaluma campus. Under her leadership, 2 major projects, the Science Edition and Student Life projects, will successfully be delivered on time and under budget. Kudos to her for staying the course and supporting these projects during the closure to ensure our Petaluma students will return to modern, upgraded, and beautiful facilities. Heather Shiriki. Heather was instrumental in delivering the district's first design build project, the Jeff Cundy Hall. This beautiful building was completed under budget and on schedule. Great appreciation to Heather for navigating this challenging project with so many stakeholders while our campus life was in full swing. David Liebman. David has successfully programmed and executed over $30 million worth of sustainability projects at Santa Rosa, Petaluma, Schoen Farm, and Public Safety Training Center that are now generating over $1 million in utility savings to the district. He has also been instrumental in securing millions of dollars in grants to support these projects. We are grateful to David for helping move SRJC into a sustainable future, both financially and environmentally. And a bonus 4th, they are led by Serafin Fernandez, to whom we give our deep appreciation and acknowledgement for his hard work in navigating, shepherding, and overseeing our Measure H projects. There, not so hard, right? So off you go then, do your 3 emails. Set aside your cynicism for just a moment. In 2020, our management team lived our core value of shared service. Each day, you embodied the best we have to offer. We weathered hard things together and took care of each other along the way. I'm grateful to have spent these last 9 months watching our managers navigate these challenges and for your continued dedication to our mission and to our students. And I know that whatever 2021 brings, our management team will respond with thought and measure, patience and love, good humor and compassion, and service to our mission. And we'll do it together, like we always do. So once again, good job, managers. Happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. And that will conclude our reports. And hold on one second, let me pull. All right, moving over to the consent calendar. Are there any items on the consent calendar that we need to pull and put over to the action agenda? Hearing none, then I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Anybody?
Yeah, move to approve C1 through C19.
Second.
All right, is there any members of the public that wish to comment on the consent calendar? Seeing none, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Student trustee Toscano.
Aye.
Trustee Battenfeld.
Aye.
Trustee Fishman.
Aye.
Trustee Lindley.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Burns.
Aye. Okay, moving over to our action agenda. Personnel actions. Do I have a motion?
For approval.
Second.
Motion by trustee Lindley, second by trustee Fishman. Any members of the public? Any board discussion? Roll call.
Student trustee Toscano.
Aye.
Trustee Battenfeld.
Aye.
Trustee Fishman.
Aye.
Trustee Lindley.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Burns.
Aye. All right. Sorry, my computer screen is only so big. Moving over to personnel actions. A motion?
Can we just do that one?
Approve that one.
Sorry, warrants.
Warrants.
Here we go. So moved.
Second.
Okay.
All right, motion by trustee Fishman, second by trustee Lindley. Any members of the public? And any board discussion? Roll call vote.
Student trustee Toscano.
Aye.
Trustee Battenfeld.
Aye.
Trustee Fishman.
Aye.
Trustee Lindley.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Burns.
Aye. All right, next item, approval of the employment contract amendment for the superintendent president. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Fishman, second by trustee Battenfeld. Any members of the public wishing to discuss it? Seeing none, any board discussion? All right, roll call vote.
Student trustee Toscano.
Aye.
Trustee Battenfeld.
Aye.
Trustee Fishman.
Aye.
Trustee Lindley.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Burns.
All right, resolution number 31-20, authorizing the approving the borrowing of funds for fiscal year 2020, 2021, the issuance of sale of 2020, 2021 tax and revenue anticipation note. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve. D4.
Second.
Motion by trustee Battenfeld, second by trustee Fishman. Any members of the public wish to discuss this item? All right, any of the members of the board discussion?
Yeah, I have some questions about this, and I was hoping that Kate would help us have clarity.
Perfect. Yeah, I got Kate here, and so let's give her a minute to join.
I am here. Good afternoon.
Hi, Kate. I just wondered if you could briefly explain the reason that we need to do this, what it entails. If you could bring a brief overview, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Definitely, I'm happy to. So for the 2021 budget that the state approved, it included $1.45 billion in deferrals to the California community colleges. Our portion of that was almost 23 million that we normally get in apportionment revenue annually. So these funds, that deferral amount is scheduled to be withheld starting in February and through June, and then repaid to the district starting in July through November. So the TRAN will cover us to get us through that deferral period. And then the funds, as they're repaid to us in next fiscal year, would go to repay the TRAN amount.
And it's correct that it's kind of getting like a line of credit, if I can put it in my own language.
It is.
That's the way to look at it, maybe in lay terms. But there's a cost occurred for borrowing or using this money. And how much of what's that going to cost us?
So we don't have that exact amount yet. What we're doing right now is asking for approval for a not to exceed amount. This program is going to be through the Foundation for California Community Colleges. They're offering multiple issuances. And so once all of the colleges have done this in December, we'll get together and look at what our total amounts are, how many want to issue in which of the issuances. By pooling like this, we are able to use the credit worthiness of each other. And then we're also able to share the issuance costs so that we can each kind of benefit from all of us being in the pool together. We would pay our own interest costs based on that, but we don't have all of those details yet. So this is step one in a multi-step process.
Okay, so the detail, we don't know what our interest rate will be.
We do not.
We do not, okay. And I know this is asking you to look into your crystal ball, but I know we haven't done this for about 20 years. Do you think this is the way it's going to be going forward?
Oh, I hope not.
Okay.
I really hope not.
I hope not too. Okay.
You know, if the legislative analyst office came out with their fiscal outlook, they're saying it's definitely looking better than anticipated for 21-22. They are hopeful, and we're cautiously optimistic that there's enough one-time funds that will stop this from being an ongoing need. This is purely a need because of the deferrals that were a part of the budget. We normally would not go through this process.
Okay, all right. Thanks. I appreciate it very much.
Any other board members? So Kate, I do just have a quick question. So as far as the cost, and again, I know that you already answered this with Maggie, but the cost, is this something that you plan to, because it's basically up to, but not to exceed the 27 million or whatever. So is this something that you're going to come back to us in the future after we know what the cost is before moving forward? Or I just want to make sure that if it's going to be a large cost, and I don't know if we even have a figure like a, not to exceed X amount of cost or.
The plan was not to come back before we do the issuance. This is a need. We have to have our accounts whole at the Treasury as of June 30. We cannot be negative in our cash. There's no option. We don't have another fund to borrow from. We can't legally take from the bond fund and put it over to make us whole at June 30. So our option is to borrow money. What this allows is, it's a not to exceed amount. Our deferrals were almost 23 million. They allow an administrative part. The costs, I don't think will be so exorbitant that, I mean, we're not talking like $1 million to borrow. We're talking 100,000 or less would be my guess. I will report out after, but likely because of the timing of it, probably not before. If you have concerns, I'm happy to bring it back. That just wasn't the plan because of the timing of the process.
No, I get that. I guess I'm just trying to figure out, because we most likely didn't anticipate this a year ago, I'm assuming. And so the cost, I mean, where's that cost coming from? Where are we getting the funds for the cost in order to do something like this?
Okay, so we did anticipate it. I had it as part of the adopted budget, but just so you know, the costs of the issuance are allowable under the CARES funding. So we have that funding source set aside for these costs associated with it. So it won't be an impact to the general fund.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, let someone else go. Something just occurred to me.
I don't think unless I saw, didn't see somebody, but I don't think there was anybody else. So go ahead, Trustee Fishman.
I was just wondering how this affects, or does it affect our reserve? Our reserve.
No, we're not allowed to make money on this deal. So basically all it is allowing us to borrow to be whole at June 30. It's purely a cash flow thing.
Okay. But we wouldn't have used our reserve in this situation of need.
If we had a significant enough reserve that we could have without being under 5% at June 30, I would definitely recommend that we use our reserve, because the negative interest per se at the county would be less of an impact than the cost of borrowing.
Got it.
But unfortunately, with us being right at that 5% is not an option for us. We're really limited in what our options are right now.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Any other questions? All right, we have a motion and a second, so roll call vote.
Student Trustee Toscano.
Aye.
Trustee Battenfeld.
Aye.
Trustee Fishman.
Aye.
Trustee Lindley.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Burns.
Aye. Resolution next on the, thank you everybody, that passed. Next on the agenda, resolution 30-20, changes to the adopted budget. Do I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Lindley, second by Trustee Fishman. Any members of the public wishing to speak on it? Seeing none. Any board discussion? All right, roll call vote.
Student Trustee Toscano.
Aye.
Trustee Battenfeld.
Aye.
Trustee Fishman.
Aye.
Trustee Lindley.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Burns.
Aye. All right, next, ACCJC WASC accreditation update. And I've got Jane Saldana-Talley and Jessica Russell presenting.
Great. Thank you, Board President Burns. Last time I'll be saying this, so I think it's congratulations, but thank you very much for your service. And members of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Chong, and college community. This is the first report that we're making on the SRJC's accreditation self-evaluation, and I'm really proud to introduce you to English faculty Jessica Russell, who you'll hear more about her as we get into this, but she has agreed to support this effort as our accreditation faculty co-chair, and she has a considerable background and experience, not the least of which is having had a background in journalism, which I think is really going to help us out when we get around to doing our reports. So next slide, please. So I want to set the stage for this just a little bit in where we're what we've been doing. Normally, the process that we would go through to do an accreditation self-evaluation report is it's a 2-year timeline. And I have to say that about a year ago, we were right on track. We were in the planning stages, had developed a faculty co-chair job description and what those would look like. We had a statewide training that was done by the Statewide Academic Senate that was down in San Diego. And there were a group of us that were going down there to participate. We'd hoped that our faculty co-chair could join us, but I went down there with Dean Robert Holcomb and Academic Senate President Julie Thompson. And we were cooking right along. And you all know what happened in March. And it definitely took our legs out from underneath us for a while. And so we picked ourselves back up, and by June, we had finally invited Jessica to join us. I knew of her background in working on accreditation, accreditations, not just for SRJC, but at other colleges. And so she agreed to join us in June, and we formed up our accreditation steering committee, and we had a very preliminary training with ACCJC. In June and July, we really looked back to say, what was our process last time? This is a big undertaking. The process is a little bit different. The SRJC as a college in the overall array of colleges tends to fall at the end of whatever cycle the ACCJC is running. So if there are changes, we tend to be at the end of those changes instead of at the beginning. But we did check in to see what our previous faculty co-chair had been doing. We consulted with college leadership. Everybody remembers that we were figuring out how to go remote during that time. We were negotiating, Academic Senate was meeting, we were dealing with the racial justice issues that we were facing into, but we managed to get quite a bit done. And by September, we had formed up and really decided on who would be our administrative liaisons, and we started working on the faculty co-chairs for our standard committees. We put out a general call for participation, and we've been making presentations to the various governance groups around at the college. The standard committees in October were created, and Jessica made that happen. She really kind of pushed us along to make sure that we had those in place, our administrative liaisons and the faculty co-chairs. We have feedback from ACCJC on each of our questions on our standards. We've looked at previous evidence and research, and we've really figured out what kind of technology we're going to have to work with. And it's different than what it was back in, the last time we did this was in 2015. I would say this is my third evaluation or accreditation process with SRJC. And so I feel like we're pretty seasoned around this. The standard teams, we had some training in November, and all of those teams have begun to do their work. And then this is a presentation to you, and we will just do very short updates to you on a regular basis after this so that you're aware of what's happening. Next slide, please. Jessica?
Hi, I'll start by saying that what we've accomplished this fall is nothing short of amazing, and a lot of that is due to our college community. We have 100 people currently working on this report, and it's moving forward. This is a brief overview of what the next year and a half will look like. So in spring, the 9 standards committees will continue working, answering the questions from ACCJC, which will result in drafting our ISA report, which is the Institutional Self-Evaluation Report, which is the primary product of this entire process. And so that will be finalized. The first draft will be finalized towards the end of spring. And there's a new portion of the ICER, and that is the quality focused essay, which Jane will talk more about, but that will be drafted over summer. And then next fall, the ICER and the QFE will be reviewed by the college community. It will be presented to the board in mid-October and for review, and then in December for final approval. And then following that, in spring 2022, ACCJC will be visiting our college.
All right, and Jessica mentioned the quality focused essay. This is one of the newest elements of the report that we're doing. I also want to mention that, you know, in the past, the commission, we would submit reports that were 300 pages, 400 pages. Just the production of the document itself took days and hours and staff time. And now they're saying we don't want you to print it. We want you to send it to us electronically. And we're limiting the number of pages that this thing is. So they're looking at, you know, approximately 150 pages for our response to the standard, and they're keeping it very streamlined. But one of the things that they're asking us to do that is new is to develop a quality focused essay. And that will provide SRJC an opportunity to be innovative and propose ideas and projects that we can implement over time that will be focused on improving student learning or student achievement at the institutional level. So we will have 2 or 3 multi-year action projects that we will propose that will be part of what we send forward to the commission. It's not part of what they will determine our accreditation on, but those areas will become critical focal points for our midterm report in 25-26. Okay. Next slide. Okay, so the structure of the participation, if you're not familiar with it, it's pretty straightforward. We have a steering committee that consists of college leaders, and that's all of our shared governance leaders. It's our unions and our senates and our administration, and making sure that everyone is represented. It includes our students. We have a faculty co-chair, which was a joint appointment with the Academic Senate. Academic Senate has a key and critical role in accreditation and as defined in Ed Code. And so they have supported all of this, and we report out to them regularly. We have standards committees co-chairs, and that includes 1 faculty co-chair and 1 administrative liaison. And so those recommendations for the faculty came from Academic Senate, and the administrative recommendations from Dr. Chong. The standards committee teams, we put the call out. And so in that way, we're not only reaching out to Academic Senate, but also to AFA, Classified Senate, SEIU, and our Student Government Assembly. And then we put out the call for everyone. And it, as Jessica said, I'm amazed how this community steps up when we ask for support. To have 100 people in this organization under these circumstances to join up in this effort is quite impressive. So next slide, please.
So this is a brief overview of some of the presentations that we've done this semester, asking for participation, really trying to bring in people from all of our constituency groups. As Jane mentioned, we had an overwhelming response. We sent out 3 emails with a web-based survey asking for participation and asking which standard people were interested in working on. And we can look at the next slide and see that we have about 100 people right now. And this provides a breakdown of the number of managers, faculty, classified personnel, and students within each standard. And thinking back to the last slide, as we presented this information as we met with the various groups to make sure that, and we had a response to that. If a group saw, Academic Senate, for example, saw that there weren't very many faculty on one of the standard areas, we had additional volunteers for participation. So just a really great response and a nice breakdown of management, faculty, classified, and some students.
Thank you. Next slide, please. And so just to give you some idea of who is leading each of the standards, there are 127 standard statements that we need to respond to. Each one, there are 4 major standards, and some of them have substandard areas under them, as you can see. But I wanted you to see who the administrative liaison is. Standard 1 includes myself and English faculty Matt Murray. Standard 2, instructional programs, is being led by Josh Adams, and history professor and academic senate vice president Anne Marie Donegan. Library and learning support services by Phyllis Usina and faculty co-chair Kyla Wegman. Student support services is being led by Vice President Pedro Avila, and faculty co-chair is counseling department chair Andrea Alvarado. Human resources is being led by Sarah Hopkins, and faculty co-chair is Kay Frindell Tusher. Physical resources, ably led by Serafine Fernandez, and faculty co-chair is Laura Sparks from Petaluma. Technology resources, Kevin Snyder, and faculty co-chair Sujan Sarkar. And then financial resources, lastly, with Kate Jolly, and chemistry adjunct, retired chemistry adjunct faculty Robert Jackson. So that tells you, we've got quite an amazing array of people. And then lastly, standard 4 on leadership and governance. And there's a piece in here on this particular standard that the board may be interested in, because it also addresses the board. And so standard 4 has responses that we need to give related to our board, and that's being led by administrative liaison Erin Bricker and faculty co-chair Katie Gerber. So that's it. That's just a big overview right now. We will be back to you in 1 short year with our report. You will be hearing how we're doing little by little. As I said, I'm quite confident. You've gotten our timeline and our structure and that sort of thing in an attached document to the agenda. So I'll stop there and see if there are any questions from the board. Thank you.
Any questions? All right. Well, thank you, both of you, for the presentation, and looking forward to the continued reports. And yeah, lots of work. I know the amount that goes into the process. So, but I think we'll get through it, and that'll be great. So, all right. I think Jane, you're going to stick around here for a second. Let's see. We've got the next on the. We need to. Are we on? Okay, we're just on informational items. Sorry, I've got I got my little laptop with, and I got everything trying to navigate it. All right, so we've got Doyle Scholarship Award, the 2021-2022 Doyle Scholarship Award Fund Report. So we were given some information about that. Frank, you got any comments, or we're good?
No, I think please read the report. We don't want to take the board's time. I think it's promising. Exchange Bank continues to be a wonderful partner in supporting the Doyle. I recently met with the incoming president, Troy Stevenson. He's a Petaluma a resident and a great guy. And we look forward to working with him as the new CEO starting in 2021.
Awesome. Perfect. All right. Any questions on that from any of the board members?
No, I just wanted to say, because I wanted people to make sure they saw that even though our enrollment is down, we're giving out more awards. So I think that's really impressive and shows the work. It's a good shout out to our scholarship and financial aid that they're getting a lot more students to apply and to figure out ways to get the money. So kudos. Thank you.
Good point. And we're also going to be extending to part-time students for the first time, the Doyle. So that's huge. So thank you for acknowledging the fine work of Rachel Miner and financial aid and the scholarship office.
Thank you. All right, moving on. First reading revision to policy 3.16, credit by examination. Jane?
Thank you, Board President Burns and members of the Board of Trustees, Chong and college community. This is a first reading of a revision to an existing policy that was originally credit by examination, and we have expanded the scope of that particular policy to address a revision, a regulatory change that was made by the Board of Governors and approved by the Board of Governors on March 20th, 2020, which was a particularly horrible time for anybody to approve anything because COVID landed on all of us, and it took us a little while to get back to even the Chancellor's office to get back to say that we needed to implement some policy changes as a result. The new regulations require that we have a policy approved by the Board of Trustees for what is referred to as credit for prior learning. Credit for prior learning is a larger umbrella term that incorporates credit by examination, but it also allows for other kinds of learning, such as learning in the military or learning in apprenticeships or learning in internships or learning if you're in the Peace Corps, and it allows if a disciplined faculty decides that that they are willing to accept examinations in this way, in the same way that credit by exam is determined by faculty in a discipline. So what we are required to do by December 31st to submit a policy. And so what you have is a policy in front of you, but what yet needs to be developed is the procedure. So we received a toolkit from the Chancellor's office that gave us, it was Palomar College actually has been working on this since 2018. And they have a sample policy and administrative procedure that's included in that toolkit. And so our policy pretty much replicates what Palomar has said. So it's considered to be best practice at the Chancellor's, by the Chancellor's office. And our academic senate then will be working this next spring to bring forward to you the procedures that will align with this revised policy. That will, those procedures do incorporate kind of how we do this and what are all of the all of the elements. So it does expand, it provides a definition of credit for prior learning and all of the different flavors of credit for prior learning that we would approve. So what we're doing is a first reading. You will, this will come back to you in January as an action item, and I will be conveying to the Chancellor's office that we will have this done in January and the procedures will follow.
Perfect. Any questions from any of the board members?
Yeah, I have a quick question. I was going to ask about procedures, but Jane answered that, so thank you. Yeah, my only question is, because I read the Title V regs and then I read our new policy and they're not quite the same. And so I didn't know if that's gonna, I mean, I assume we're doing this so that we're in compliance with the Title V regs.
Yeah. I followed up on that, and so I think it's the procedures that need the more specifics that you're looking at. I took a look at the regs again myself, and I would tell you that because we are following the Chancellor's office toolkit with Palomar's policy. They are saying that this is the policy that would be fine for you to use that meets the Ed Code regulations. So we are not, I mean, so the Board of Governors changed the regulation. We got direction from the Chancellor's office about what would meet that regulation. And I think what you're looking for, and that it talks about in the, we need procedures that shall include but not be limited to credit by exam, evaluation for joint services transcripts, evaluation of student created portfolios, evaluation of industry recognized credential documents. That will all be in the procedures.
Okay, because it just says our policy says may include, and it sounds like the Title V is very specific about what we have to include. So I just want to make sure that's not going to get us in trouble.
Yeah, no, when it says shall, we're going to follow the shall, and it's very clear. The regulation is very clear about that.
Okay, so and that doesn't need the policy doesn't need to say shall. It
No.
can say may. That's you're saying you feel comfortable with that. Okay.
Like I said, when the chancellor's office puts out, this is a model policy that you can simply adopt. And I went back and I looked at Palomar's and I thought, did they say may? And in fact, they did say may. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, I think it's great. I'm glad we're doing this because I think it's really going to help us attract more students and help students complete. And I'm glad that I think it's great that the Academic Senate is going to work on this. So
I can see some real advantages to it. First of all, it's lining up with previous laws that have been passed to support veterans and other people. So it's really it now kind of pulls it all together. But the other thing I think that's helpful is if we can get credit for prior learning in some of our CE courses, for instance, in the entry level courses, it could help to really fill out our higher level and capstone courses in those disciplines. So and there's some really good work that's been done by other colleges that will help us in implementing this as well. Thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right, I appreciate it, Jane and everybody else. And we've got a special meeting on next Tuesday at, I believe it's early, right, Zara? Can you mention? Is it
8:30 a.m.
Yeah, so 8:30 a.m. So if anybody wishes to join us, feel free to, it's an open meeting. We'll be doing the swearing in, and it's the organizational meeting for the year, committees, assignments, and things like that. And then we've got some fun requirements afterwards that we're all participating in. But anyways, thank you everybody. And if you don't join the nice early meeting and I don't talk to you until after the holidays, everybody have a great holiday break and happy new year. And I'll see you in 2021. All right, take care. Meeting adjourned.